Hello and welcome to Reviews. Oh, Bendis, Bendis. I dipped out of Superman a while back. Just before Bendis took over, and I was like, nope, And then I saw what happened with, basically what happened with Super Sons and what he was planning to do with Jonathan. And I like Jonathan Kent. I like the Super Sons, and this is coming from someone who used to hate Damian Wayne. I I hated the character, and I know Grant Morrison originally created him to be hated, but I think it was Peter Tomasi, who I think it was his run on the book that made Damien. I don't know if I'd say likable, but more interesting. And yeah, I grew to like the character. And well, this isn't about Damien. This is about Jonathan. I like the interplay between the two of them. And of course, now we have Young Justice, we have Connor back. It kind of makes Jonathan superfluous, and I, yeah, I'm kind of torn. I like both characters, and I really like the, Clark, Lois, and Jonathan. The three of them together. As a super family. In a time when status quo is God and everything always gets reset back, we just know something's going to happen to Jonathan, and he's going to whatever. It's not going to be good for him. It's already not that good. I'm just going to pop in this. I want to try and do this kind of quick. Um, so we get the reunion where it's Jonathan and his dad Superman. Nope, still hugging, and Superman asks him, "Are you okay?" "I'm really okay." "You're what are you?" "I don't know, a 17? You don't know?" "I lost track out there." Well, okay, that part makes sense. When you're in space, not only time dilation from space travel, you don't have the Earth's rotations around the sun to judge time, and but that line, you're what are you? Uh, it almost seems like, are you really my son? Are you a clone? Not that he was asking the age. So Superman's trying to figure it out. Blue kryptonite, no. Indigo, no. Gold, and and Jonathan's just saying no. And uh, Brainiac related cloning experiments. I've been trying to get back to you for something like 7 years. I lived all this. I didn't transform or anything because in real time, in their time, Jonathan's only been gone for 3 weeks. And he's like, years. The shocked look on his face. Um, we're in Grandpa's ship, and then it went a twirly, windy black hole and went whoosh and bright lights. And well, it's a much bigger galaxy than a lot of people give it credit. Yeah, we're getting Bendis writing. And yeah, I know Jonathan, he was a younger character, but he's not suddenly aged up. He actually ma- matured, I guess you would say, from 10 to 17. And yeah, still talking like a Bendis character. And we need to have you checked out at the Hall of Justice immediately. Yeah, I'm okay, Pa, I am. I wasn't sure I was gonna make it back, Pa. I really wasn't sure. Is Mom okay? So, yeah, she's okay. Uh, and then we get some funny scenes. When I say funny, I mean not really funny at all. Um, so we have Lois, she's typing. Um, Wait, that's how you spell received? Now, in case you don't know this, a little bit of trivia for you. Lois is a horrible speller. This actually comes from the Superman movie, the first one, back in the 70s. And that little quirk character thing eventually made it into the comics. Just a little bit of trivia for you. Then we get Superman, just hovering outside her window. And this is one of those times I don't know if the art was meant to be implying this, because she is in just a bathrobe. But it looks like she sees Superman and just automatically starts opening her robe for him, which, I know they're a married couple and everything. I'm not sure if this is just a weird hand placement and she's turning and the robe's falling open, but it makes it even funnier when you realize that unless she's wearing a lead robe, he could just see through it anyway. But no, Superman's too good for that. And then we get this where Jonathan looks over and Superman covers his eyes. And of course, she has to cover herself. And, the one thing about this is with the shoulder things, kind of making him look a little bit too much like Superboy Prime. I'm worried that's where they're going with this character. That he's going to be the new 52 Superboy Prime or somehow merge with him. Has he been seen in the new 52? Has he been seen since Flashpoint? I don't think so. I could be wrong. Then we get the shocked look, and a lot of explanations. I was trying to break it to you easy. He just showed up, and we came right over. Is this one of those effing kryptonites again? Yeah, way to swear in front of your son. It's him. Boy! What? Boy? Did Bendis forget Jonathan's name? Did he forget his name is John? In fact, have they called him John in this book? I looked through it twice. I read it and then skimmed through it. And, did they call him John at all? Tell me this is a Kryptonian puberty thing and you're still the age you are. There's a question. And it's you. It smells like you, but it's a different person. Now, this is actually a sincere thing. A mother would, feel this way, especially in 3 weeks. I missed everything. They haven't told her yet that he's lived, 7 years in the past 3 weeks. It's why she asks about the whole, is this a Kryptonian puberty thing? What did your maniac grandfather do to you? How about I start from the beginning? And so basically it recaps how Lois and John went with Jor-El into space and actually had a really huge cruiser there. And, Parts walking around, Jor-El gives Lois basically a costume to wear. He does address the point that the rigors of space could take their toll on human biology, even in the best of conditions. Which is fair. I mean, you read about, what happens when astronauts come back to Earth, even with, with the advanced, Kryptonian technology, I presume this is. He does make a fair point. So, and he gives her basically the Superman costume, the new 52 Superman costume. Yeah, took me a second. Boom, oh yeah, space flight. This is, John, 10-year-old John would be excited about space flight. And, interesting ad. So they go out and they fight in space. The dominators of the Dominion. Redundant months? They are an invading race. They are conquerors, invaders, terrorists. The absolute worst of the worst. John says, oh, I know who they are. Stay by my side. Yes, sir. We get space battle and, wraps up pretty quickly. I guess John is proud and look at... I'm not sure what emotion this is supposed to be conveying. Is this, happiness? Or what exactly is going on here? I think it's supposed to be like boyhood, boyish joyousness. I don't know. It just looks freaking creepy. This looks like Jean Loring in Identity Crisis. Mr. Miracle ad. And we cut to Lois in the full costume. Yeah. Man, what is it with, making Lois in these full page, maybe this was not full page, but it's almost half the page. So she says, so we're good? No more whatever those things were? And then, I mentioned how, some of these writers want to write kids. I mentioned Mariko Tamaki. She wants to write a honey badger. But the thing is, she actually writes a good honey badger. And I'll say it, I'll be honest. And we get this. Ma, Dad would poop. Are you hungry? I know a place. These two lines, for one thing, put together, these two lines are stupid. Flowing off one another. But yeah, and then John, oh God, that's the funniest thing I've ever, this day. So, Jor-El says John was very good out there. The Dominators are soulless monsters, and the ship intel says they're heading to Earth eventually. We saved my son and his friends some trouble back home. Good. You said something about food? I just love this, kind of Earth colloquialism. I know a place. Um, so they go to some space truck stop, and young John, until you learn more of the customs of trade galactic, stay close. Try not to speak. People find me very personable. There are no people here. Okay, so there are no people here. Is he referring to humans? Is he referring that this is a dive? Oh, and John says, people find me very personable. This 10-year-old said that, and just a minute ago said, ha, Dad would poop. Which is it, Bendis? Which is it? So, Lois asks, what are they staring at? Oh, I don't know, could it be the hot woman in a skin-tight outfit? No, he's bearing the mark of L. You're wearing the crest of the House of L, Lois. To them, you are galactic royalty. You're saying you're royalty? No. You're married to the Superman of Earth. You are. So we have all these people coming up, and I had to make this the image for this video because it's supposed to look like she's touching it's Butters. She hasn't been in a few videos. Hi, Boo. You just interrupted like the best part of this book. All right, come on, Butterscotch. So yeah, it's supposed to be touching basically the crest, but no, it just looks like this old woman is copping a feel. Yeah, she's just grabbing a grope, So, and then of course John doesn't listen and tries to wander off and get some food, and he'll have the tater tots. Oh, I'd like tater tots. Now, my stomach just growled. This is what happens when I come home and do a video before I eat. I had the Timothy Zahn books, the Star Wars books, when they came out back in the early 90s. I have first edition hardcovers of them each, and I was reading them until they got to the point where I think it was Lando said, this is an exotic drink. It is called hot chocolate. And for some reason, that took me out of the book. And I stopped reading the books when they mentioned it a second time. So I still haven't finished reading the Zahn books. So yeah, maybe this is one of those translation things where, he's actually saying tater tots, but it gets translates into glorfamites or something. But yeah, tater tots in space. The only way that would be dumber is if it was space tater tots or space tots. Come on, Boo. I need to move this. So, and then the main man shows up. I'm so glad they brought back the real Lobo. And I know this kid from Earth and stuff. Little Superman on a field trip. Did you brings the whole Justice League too? Notice this. Did you brings the whole Justice League too? John tries to correct him. Superboy. What? You and all your little galactic bounty hunter pals can call me Superboy. Uh-huh. Yeah, uh-huh. Jor-El's just standing back. Lois should know who Lobo is. She's not saying, John, just ease up on him. Guess no one ever done told you yet. What's that? You're a man when you decide to be. Ain't no one handing out certificates or nothing. Decide to. And then John just kind of looks away, looks kind of down, and kind of not crestfallen, but just kind of like almost embarrassed. And cheers to the house of Frackinell. Say hi to your pops, huh? So I find this interesting. The way Bendis is writing Lobo, I don't know, maybe this is how they're doing him in the New 52. He wasn't this bad, but it's actually kind of an interesting scene. It reminds me of when, Negan first meets Carl in The Walking Dead in the comic book. I didn't watch the TV show. And he actually develops a respect for him, and because he stands up. And yeah, this could be a test on Lobo's part, but this kind of advice, you're a man when you decide to be. Ain't no one handing out certificates or nothing. Decide to. So he's basically telling him to grow up. This scene, except for this last two words, would have worked a lot better if if Jonathan had called himself Superman instead of Superboy. Picture that. Go with Lobo calls him Superboy. He says no, little Superman. And then you read this. Guess no one done told you. You're a man when you decide to be. Ain't no one handing out certificates or nothing. I just feel like it would have read better that way. Ah, Bendis. So all these people start accosting Lois. Basically people, they see the Superman emblem and they need help. They're downtrodden. So we have bounty hunters and the refugees all coming to Lois, and he's taking the children, putting them in slavery. Calm yourself. Who exactly? The Kuns on Daxam. They steal the children. And I gotta stop here soon. So basically, Lois decides right around this point, excuse me, is when she's heading back to Earth, and the big reveal is that Jor-El is nuts. Of course, we all saw this coming, and interesting things like this. How Superman's legacy in space, when someone just sees the Superman, symbol, and they just go to that person for help. That's an interesting story. And instead, we have Lois. This is too much for her to handle. This is about when she pisses off back to Earth. Again, one of those things that there's some interesting parts in here that I want to see more of that, and yeah, and I want to see more Lois, to be honest. But the best part, that the art. Look at the look on her face. It's like, why are you touching my tit? Those are my dirty pillows. Get your hands off, old lady. This book it's Bendis writing, his dialogue. There's so many times I just kind of shook my head. I will give it credit for one thing. What am I always saying? Treat every issue like it's someone's first. And like I said, I haven't been reading Superman for a while. I stopped. I kind of knew what was going on with, Jor-El coming back and Jonathan and Lois going to space and everything. But this issue actually organically brings people up to speed. What's going on. They do it. Sometimes the dialogue's clumsy. So, we get this funny bit. In that reaction. Which, not just because it's her son, she's not expecting her son to be 17, just the fact that Superman has anyone there peeping in on her. That's really creepy. Doesn't Superman have a phone? I know how fast he is, but couldn't he call Lois and say, hey, get decent, I'm bringing someone by? Superman's still a super dick, isn't he? But yeah, I give it credit that it's new reader friendly. It brings you up, gives you all the important details. That's good. That is about the only positive. Otherwise, it's still Bendis writing. We knew Jor-El was going to be crazy, and yeah, I have a feeling that we're going to see Superboy, Jonathan, end up becoming Superboy Prime, and it's one of the better Bendis books I've read, but this is dumb. But it was a quick read at least, so as always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.